Hey there, hey everyone. This is Ivo once again, Rainbow McLean for life. I'm back with another discussion video, and today I'm actually going to discuss a movie that I also love, and that's actually going to be Cobra 1986. It's actually a discussion, and it's going to be my top 10 reasons why it's my ultimate favorite movie of all time, why I love this movie to death. And first, I'll show you the poster art. Yes, I do have a poster. Would love to have someday a steelbook out there. There's also the movie's also based, is actually on Blu-ray, which is collector's edition, which has many extras and interviews. But because it's rated, because the movie is actually rated. Just gonna do much better. Oh, that's better. You know, I love this poster. I actually borrowed it from frame from Demolition Man, and I put this poster in it. I also do have the Blu-ray, my own Blu-ray. Crime Disease, Me the Cure, which of course, the Strong Arm of the Law. The Strong Arm of the Law. I have this on Blu-ray, which is actually one of my personal favorite movies of all time. I love this movie to death, and I want to talk about this movie a lot, And this is my discussion video. But I'm gonna show you once again this cool poster art. So I did saw Sylvester Stallone that he actually that I saw Sylvester Stallone that his daughters interviewed him. I could not get into finale, but you know what? He barely even, I don't think they even mentioned Cobra at all. And I want to talk about Cobra because I miss this kind of movies nowadays. I did a long discussion on Commando. Now I'm gonna do a long discussion on Cobra, and I'm gonna mention my top 10 reasons, why is Cobra one of my ultimate favorite action films. And it's really hard, to choose which is my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie. There's Rambo films, Demolition Man, and Cobra, in this movie. There's so many. It's so hard to choose between those three movies because Cobra is always been one of my ultimate favorite action films. Sorry, my poster fall down. And yeah, but this is how I love this movie because it's serious, it's tone, because it's an action slasher film. It's actually an action slasher film. It's such a cool character, Marion Cobra Cubretti, which I forgot to mention the character in Commando last night when I did the discussion, But this movie is a pure badass. It's a badass film. And I don't understand 5.8 on IMDb. I don't understand that. I understand why is this movie cheesy. Why it is so cheesy about this movie. I don't understand that. Oh, it's actually a time waster. It's a fun time waster. What's fun time waster? I don't see this movie, being a time waster. I don't see Cobra being actually a time waster. And yeah, like I said, I did a review last year this film. But now I'm gonna do the discussion, and like I said, I'm gonna mention top 10 reasons why it's actually one of my all-time favorite action films. Why I enjoy this film, why I love this movie to death, and what is so good about it. The movie was based on Fair Game by Paula Gosling, and the backgrounds. Sylvester Stallone was hired by Paramount Pictures to play Beverly Hills Cop. Everyone knows that about, And when he went on Beverly Hills Cop, he read the script, he changed the script. He actually toned down the film from a comedy to more serious, to more action drama. But producers didn't like that idea because they thought it's gonna be way too much expensive. So they fired him. So he left that project open. And like I said, this is part of Canon Group This is actually part of, you can see right here, it's actually part of Canon Group, actually part of Canon Group. It's actually part of Canon Group Productions. And yeah, Sylvester Stallone, approached this independent studio, Canon Group, that time, the 80s, because he was looking for a studio that will actually finance his project, Rambo First Blood Part 2, the sequel to First Blood. And like I said, he approached the independent studio Canon Group, but that time Canon Group only could afford $5 to $6 million. They couldn't afford over $30 million because they couldn't raise that kind of money. So Stallone left the studio because they couldn't afford that kind of money like Stallone demanded. But like I said, Sylvester Stallone went then to 3-Star Pictures and Karolko, which were merged together at the time, and they financed, they actually went and financed Rambo First Blood Part 2. That movie cost them $44 million, which was very expensive at that time, but it made 300 worldwide. Rambo First Blood Part 2 was successful. Cobra was not a successful film. Was actually it actually bombed in the box office. It received 6 Razzie Awards, which I know why the fuck was receiving 6 Razzie Awards. Like one of the worst movies. Got 5.8 on IMDb. Was actually a disappointing film, which I don't understand. I watched this movie on Friday, and this Friday late at night I watched this movie, and I love so much because it's such a fast-paced, pure badass, serious, very toned action film. It's actually a slasher film. It's a horror action film, and Stallone did that. And I don't get it. Why the fuck Stallone doesn't talk about Cobra that much? I will never understand this guy. So last night I watched Rocky IV Ultimate Cut. Fuck that Ultimate Cut. It ruined my childhood, Stallone only talks about it's just now Rocky and Rambo. It's very, very sad, Why not talking about Cobra? And I read it like 2 years ago. He said he's gonna do a Cobra series. Why the fuck we need Cobra series? I wish that in the 90s we could get the sequel, but no. So yeah. And in my opinion, Rocky IV, the Ultimate Drago, Rocky vs. Drago Ultimate Cut was pointless, and I hope that we don't get any of this, any of the director's cut. There's actually a work print version out there. I would like to see work print version, which is actually a great cut. It's a rated R cut. It's a work print version out there. It's a really badass film. There's also the latest scenes on YouTube. Some people did that, and you can see how this army of killers, when they actually go to this San Ramos, they go and kill this family. They kill everyone, police officers. They're like type of Michael Myers, And Sylvester Stallone is actually versus type of Michael Myers, because the Night Slasher is actually Michael Myers in this movie. He's an intimidating motherfucker, and he has such a great custom knife made. I would love to have that knife, but it's so expensive. It was custom made. That knife was such a badass, That knife was a badass. But yeah, Night Slasher played by Brian Thompson. He was intimidating motherfucker. And so yeah, after Rambo First Blood Part 2, Canon Group emerged. They actually emerged with Warner Brothers. So they could actually, raise that kind of money Stallone demanded, and this movie the budget for this movie cost them $25 million, made worldwide $44 million. I think that Rambo First Blood Part 2 cost them $49 million, almost $50 million. The budget. This was $25 million, made worldwide $44 million, but it was actually a disappointment. It wasn't so successful. And yeah, so Sylvester Stallone instead he did, that he did Bear His Cap. He actually did Cobra, which is an answer to Beverly Hills Cop, and it's actually a Dirty Harry. It's actually a Dirty Harry type. This is Sylvester Stallone's answer to Dirty Harry, and yes, I love this movie to death, So let's go to top 10 reasons why it's my favorite. Yes, Rambo Rap Live did that video a long time ago. I'll do my own video and I'm gonna mention my own names. I'm gonna mention stuff why I love this film. So I'm just gonna go with number 10, and number 10 reason is because, like I said, it's a dark movie, it's a slasher movie, a lot of the nice scenes, I love that it's actually real, and I actually love Brian Thompson. Brian Thompson is such an underrated actor. He went, to play this character, Night Slasher. Actually, Night Slasher was based on this guy. I think it was Richard Ramirez. I'm not sure if I corrected the guy, but the guy was in '85. He was doing the things that Night Slasher did. He went and killed people. And yeah, Night Slasher was imitated motherfucker. He had such a great replica knife, with such a great knife, love to have that knife. It was a custom made, which I wrote down, but it was a replica, from Arizona, custom knife replica made. Such a great knife. He was in the eye so evil. He was such an imitated motherfucker. And there was Lee Garlington. There's a new, the actress. There's a new interview, which they put it on collector's edition with the actress. And the actress, she said that she had fun, how she worked with the relationship with the actors. And she was actually a police officer, but she was actually with the Night Slasher. Night Slasher, they work actually in this new world, they believe in new world. And there's a cult, an army of killers, and the Night Slasher is their leader, he's a imitated motherfucker, he kills everyone. He kills child, he kills everything, he's a motherfucker, and he's scary. And I love his mask, and he's like Michael Myers type, he goes, kills these people, he prays at night, I love the night scenes, which are awesome, There's like this waitress, and this group with the van crashes in her, and Lee Garlington shows up, and she apologizes to the lady, and the lady says, what did you do? Did you drinking? And she said yes, and they go grabs her, and Brian Thompson goes and stabs her, and you see in his eyes evil. He's actually evil, and this is how you do a fucking film, Stallone, why can't you just talk about this film, you idiot? That's what I meant, that Stallone only talks about Rocky Rambo. Why never Cobra? I love Cobra to death. I never stand a hate for it. But yeah, like I said, the night scenes are great. They're great, they're dark. I love how they filmed, It was actually filmed during Christmas holiday. The movie set during Christmas holiday. You can see in the supermarket, that's all decorated, with lights and the tree. So it was during Christmas light, Christmas holiday. And also you can see Stallone when he actually sits in an apartment and watches TV. There's a cartoon in the Christmas snow, But I love the dark. I love that it's actually filmed in the night scenes. That this group, army of killers, they actually are looking for prey, during the night. Around 9, 10 p.m., they cruising around Los Angeles and are stalking and killing people. And Night Slasher, such an imitated motherfucker. He goes he has such a great knife, goes and stabs everyone. Which I love that, And I love that it's serious, that's dark tone. It's serious. It has a lot of, I love that it has a lot of action, That's why I love this movie to death. I forgot to mention, but it has a lot of action and power. So that's number 10, great tone, great, it's a horror slasher film. I love that it's dark, I love that it's serious. I love it's like Halloween 2, Michael Myers imitated motherfucker, which I think Halloween 2 is definitely my, actually I'm not fan of Halloween movies, but yeah, I'll say Halloween 2 is the best of them. Even though everyone will say go for the first one, I'll say for the second one because it has action in it. The first movie doesn't have, the second one has action, And yeah, that's what I love. Number 9 is because it's fast paced. There was actually around 2 hours long video, but this movie had to be edited because they were actually competing with Top Gun, because Top Gun came out in the cinema 1986, by Paramount Pictures, and Canon Group and Warner Brothers. They were actually very afraid that the movie won't do well in by the audience in the movie theater, so they actually cut this film to 1 hour 27 minutes. And there's on YouTube that actually directed the latest scenes in it. But I would love to see work print version, which is more gory, more bloody. The work print version of Cobra is actually more bloody, it's actually more bloody, more gory. I don't understand why this movie will be campy. I don't understand why this movie will be cheesy or why it will be campy, I wish I would see this movie as a kid, but I never could see it. It was never, I don't know, maybe because it was way too much dark, But yeah, the fast pace is fast paced, It's not boring, just like Commando. It goes fast paced, goes quickly around. It's not boring. It's only 1 hour 27 minutes, It's barely, it's like 1 hour 70 minutes. It's already over, which is fast paced. I love that this movie is shorter, that it's fast paced, I love that it's more serious, darker. And I understand why it would be this cheesy or campy, But I have to talk about this movie, why it's such a cool. Why this movie is so cool, why this movie is so badass, That's number 9. Number 8, the music score. I'll talk about the music score, number 8. Number 8, the music scores. Like I said, I wrote down the music score. I love the song "Feel the Heat," not "Feel the Night." "Feel the Heat," performed by Jean Beauvoir. I think it's French. Jean Beauvoir. Feel the Heat, which I love that song. Feel the heat. Feel the heat. Feel the heat, and I love that, the song plays when actually Sylvester Stallone drives Ingrid, Bridget Nielsen. He goes and he drives her, while we see Brian Thompson and of course the actor who plays this intimidated second killer, John Hersfeld show, he has like Winchester Model 70 with a scope and puts the barrel, in the chamber and puts, and we see the shotgun with Night Slasher who puts the 2 barrels in it and reloads. It goes, it's a badass, such a badass cool. I love that song, I love the song, Feel the heat, feel the heat. I always listen to that song, love that song to death. Angel of the City by Robert Tapper. Robert Tapper did No Easy Way Out by Rocky IV, so I'm glad that he reunited with Stallone and he did Angel of the City. When Cobra is searching for Night Slasher and goes around city asking people, that's when the song plays, Angel of the City, Angel of the City. Angel of the City, love that song, The songs and soundtracks are great, I also love Hold On to Your Vision by Gary Wright. I also love that song. That's the song when Bridget Nielsen drives with her car and she sees Brian Thompson. She's listening to that song, and I love Feel the Heat. It's a great song, Feel the Heat is actually a great song. Now, the soundtrack was made, actually the main music score was made by Sylvester Levy. I think Sylvester Levy, not so into his music score, but also it says, Sylvester Levy, I actually love the opening scene for Cobra, the Sylvester Levy's music score, which is awesome, I always listen to that music score, that's why it means one of the best favorite movies, because I love the music score, the music score is awesome, is a fantastic, but yeah, Cobra, the strong arm, the low, crimes disease, me the cure. You know, his crimes disease, he's the cure. You know, he's a strong arm the law. You know, and that's one of the reasons I think that Judge Dredd sucked. You know, I thought that Judge Dredd sucked because Sylvester Stallone, he did the strong arm the law, he did Cobra. You know, he did this movie Cobra. You know, but such a badass film. You know, Sylvester Stallone is a badass. Cobra, I love to death, you know. Well, like I said, I love the music score by Sylvester Levay. I love the new world, you know, because it's all about, you know, the killing. It's a new world. And Sylvester Levay, he did a fantastic job, you know, music score. I love the music score. And I love it's more dark, serious. And I'm comparing this movie to nowadays action films, which is very sad, you know. And I love one-man type army movies, like I mentioned it in Commando. That will be, I think, was number 8. That was number 9. Number 10, 9. That was actually the music score number 9. Number 8. Number 8, the writing by Sylvester Stallone. He did a script. I love his lines, you know, like when he goes, like he's such a badass. He goes in the supermarket and this killer, you know, by Marco Rodriguez. Marco Rodriguez was in the Rookie with Clint Eastwood. He's this killer and he goes and shoots people, you know. He's a psychopath. He's a fucking deranged psychopath. He goes and kills people, you know. And he goes and kills this kid for nothing. And Cobra, he goes in the supermarket, he runs in the supermarket, you know, and runs in the supermarket, the guy shoots him, you know, and starts screaming, you know, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill everyone, you know, he's screaming that he's gonna kill everyone, you know, and you deserve the NSA to do the new world, you know, and of course Cobra runs and grabs the radio frequency, you know, and says, "Hey, dirtbag, you're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots. You waste the kid for nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you," you know. And when Cobra goes with his gun, you know, he goes with a gun. Okay, let me go. And he goes, you know, and the guy, you know, he says, you know, "Hey, I have a bomb here. You know, you're trash, you deserve it. I have a bomb here. You know, I'm gonna blow these things up." And I love it. Cobra is such a badass, and he says, "Go ahead. I don't shop here." You wanna talk, amigo? Just relax. I'm a sucker for a good talk, you know. I wanna talk to you. I wanna talk to the cameras. Bring the cameras right here. I can't do that. Why? Because you're a psycho. I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. I'm no psycho, man. I'm the hero of the new world. Look at a fucking hunter. You know. You're disease, and I'm the cure. And I love this line, you know. Sylvester Stallone wrote such a great lines, you know. You're disease, I'm the cure. And the guy goes, "Die." And I love that badass moment scene when Stallone grabs a knife, goes, throws the knives, drop it, fires him 5 times. The guy jumps, the guy falls down, and he goes to the gun. And he puts the gun, you know, he's called 45, you know, a custom made. I love his gun. He goes 5 times, you know. And he goes to that supermarket girl, you know, he says, "Come on," you know. And I tried to find the actress, but I couldn't find it. I think it's not listed on IMDb, so if anyone knows who that girl in supermarket was, when she was all bloody, you know, and Cobra gives her a hand to let me know, because she was really, because I really like her. I tried to find her, but I couldn't. That's actually number 8, you know, the writing, because the plot, because it was edited, you know, and cut to rated R, because it's rated R. It actually received X rating because it was so bloody. It was so it was actually so rated R, you know. It was actually so gory, you know, just like Friday the 13th Part 7. It was more gory, but they actually had to cut the scenes, because the MPA butchered John Carl Bickler's. They actually went and they went and butchered, the film. So I read that it caused a plot holes. But I understand the movie is about, about a badass cop who has to protect scared women, a scared woman, a witness, and he goes and fucks all the motherfuckers who are killing people, Honestly, I compare this movie to Terminator. Terminator received such a publicity and became such a famous movie. I'll list it, Cobra, as my favorite over the Terminator. I compare this movie with nowadays movies. Nowadays movies are such a sad. They have nothing on Commando, Cobra, Predator, Rambo movies. They don't have nothing. Die Hard movies, Everyone talks about the first Die Hard. I want to talk about Cobra, I want to talk about this movie right there, about Batman, Die Hard to Vengeance, Hard Target. I want to talk about GoldenEye, Cobra, Rambo films, Roadhouse, Commando I want to talk about, and I want to talk about Cobra, which is a badass movie, and the writing is fantastic, it's a great movie, it's a great action movie, it's an 80s action movie, it's such a badass movie. Sorry, I had to fix the camera. It's such a badass movie. It's an awesome movie, in my opinion. It's an awesome movie. It's an 80s awesome movie. So yeah, that's number 8. Number 9, direction, was actually directed by George P. Cosmatos. He directed Rambo First World Part 2. He directed Leviathan, Tombstone. He directed, I forgot. He directed a lot of good movies, but I kind of forgot. But at one point, Sylvester Stallone complained to cinematographer, or more director of photography, which is listed here, Rick Wade. Rick Wade is here. That they're actually behind the schedule, they're all actually behind in the schedule, and of course Rick Wade said, if you will actually take ass of Richard Nilsson, we won't be so much behind, and and stop showing off to your bodyguards. Maybe we won't be such a behind like you're claiming, and Stallone was shocked that time, and he toned his ego down, and he became a professional. And later Rick Wade said that that he loved Stallone, that he loved working with him, that he had a great sense of humor, that that it was really great working with him, in this movie. That he thought him a true director of this film, But George P. Cosmatos was actually a bad director, but a good producer. That's what he said. I don't know who directed this film, but whoever did, he did a great job directing this film. But I love, this is my movie. This is an answer to Dirty Harry. Randy Santoni and Andy Robinson. On Andrew Robinson, they were both from this movie. They actually were, in both of them. They actually were in Dirty Harry, the first Dirty Harry. I reviewed Dirty Harry movies. I love them, but I actually love Cobra a little more, and so direction, whoever directed this movie did a great job, and so that's the reason I'm discussing this badass film. Love this movie to death. Could have a better poster. I mean, the more lighter color, but yes, love Cobra very much. Love this movie so much to death. Cobra is such a badass film. It has been my all-time favorite movie, and I have to review it. So direction, I love the colors. I love the action. I love how everything was. So yes, direction was awesome. I think was number 8. I think number 7. All practical done. The actions, the explosions, they're all practical done. The explosions, like I said, just like in Commando, when you have a great car chase, and we see Brian Thompson with a shotgun, 2-barrel shotgun, goes in the car and fires in the tank. He hits 2 tanks with the track of the tank, and you see explosion. That was done for real. There's 2 psychos. They're chasing Ingrid and Cobra. And Cobra turns around the car and he goes with his submachine gun. He goes submachine gun. He goes fires, blows to pieces. And I love that explosion. The practical done. It was all practical done. That time there weren't any CGI. It was all practical done. The action scenes, everything was all practical done. The action scenes, it was practical done. The weapons were done real. I love the scene when during the car chase. Love the car chase. During the car chase they actually crashed. They actually crashed in the boat. They actually wanted in the film in which Night Slasher crashes, but Stallone did not like that idea, so they changed it in which Stallone crashes in the boat, with Ingrid. I love that scene. I love that it's all practical done. So that's another scene. Number 6, number 6. I'll say the car chase scene. The car chase scene, like I said, it was practical done. I love the car chase scene. I love the music score for Sylvester LeVay for the car chase scene. We see Cobra's car. Cobra goes with on that nitro fuel. I wrote down somewhere. I make some notes here. Nitro fuel, which was higher nitro content on earthly fuel. We see a nitro. This is before even the Fast and the Furious came out. Nitro fuel, which Cobra uses nitro fuel, and he goes, faster while he goes and chases the Night Slasher. And John Hartson says he's crazy, and he tries not to get shot to avoid being shot. And I love that car chase scene. I love when these 2 guys, they go and crashes into Nancy Stalk and Gonzalez's car, and they chase Cobra and starts firing at him. And Cobra grabs his machine gun. He grabs his machine gun. He goes and grabs the machine gun and turns around and goes and blows to pieces. He goes and turns around. So I love that. So I love that the car chase scenes are awesome, But yeah, that's number 6, the car chase scenes. Number 5, I'll go with being a Night Slasher, with a Night Slasher. He's a mutated motherfucker. He goes to this hospital, he puts his hair, he makes all black hair. He's intimidated, and of course, Nancy Stalk, she shows up and says, he's gonna wreck our new dreams and our world. And we see all the serious tones, because it's serious, all the serious tones, and she says, you have to stop her. Let me take care of her. Know where she lives. And I love when Brian Thompson replies and says, she's mine, and he puts the knife and starts cutting his finger, very brutal, and I just love that scene. And he goes in the hospital and he starts killing, he goes and stabs this janitor, when he tries to, when he looks what the hell was with the radio, he says, man, I buy a new radio, and this is what you get, a piece of shit, he gets stabbed, which I feel sorry for him, he gets dressed as a janitor, he tries to kill this lady because she's mean to him, in the elevator, because he's janitor, and he tries to kill Ingrid, because she sees him, he tries to kill her. And he goes and kills this old lady in the hospital, in the patient, and we also see a great nurse, kind of reminds me on Hero and the Terror, but great nurse with great ponytail. She's such a great babe. Lucky I found the actress name, but Sally is completely forgotten actor. She's not on the business anymore. But the actress name was actually Deborah Dalton. She played Nurse One, when she talked to this security guard, she says kind of late for cleaning the floors now, that was Deborah Dalton. And I love when she gets killed, she gets stabbed by Night Slasher, grabs down, when she finds that one of the patients been murdered, she gets grabbed and she gets stabbed, and I feel so bad for her, because Night Slasher kills her, Night Slasher preys of anyone, and he goes and kills them, but yeah, the parking garage. He goes, and starts in the parking garage. He goes and he starts killing people. He there's this guy, and David Roche from that movie, that TV series, Sledgehammer. He gets killed, by an axe. They use axe. They try to stab and kill Ingrid, and she runs. In the parking garage is my favorite scene. That's definitely my favorite scene. Because there's a security guard starts firing at them in the van, and Brian Thompson says kill her, and they go into and drive, and they hit the security guard. Very practical done, and just love that. Love that tone. Number four. Number four, the cast, which I forgot to mention. The cast, number four. Huge, biggest fan of Sylvester Stallone. I love the guy to death, and like I said, I love this movie, Cobra. Sylvester Stallone's best movie, Cobra. But Brian Thompson did a great job. Ingrid Knudsen played a Bridget Nielsen. Nowadays she's so weird, but that time she was so great. Did a great job. She was that time wife of Sylvester Stallone. Stallone cast her in Rocky 4, and of course she did a great job. This is the second time. The last time she collaborated with Stallone until Creed 2. Yes, in Creed 2 she was in it. Fuck you, Creed 2, and fuck Stallone and his bullshit movies nowadays. But yeah, she did a great job. Like I said, the plot. Fuck the plot. You don't need the plot. Because the movie is about this army killers and the Night Slasher who kills people, and a badass cop, who's actually the part of the zombie squad. He's actually Dirty Harry himself, and he's actually working on homicide, and he has to protect this woman from this evil cult. And that's the story. You don't need the story, So the cast is awesome. Brian Thompson did a great job, He's underrated actor. I love him in Lionheart when he got his face punched, I love that scene. And I love the character Night Slasher, especially the final words, I love when he goes and fights off, he goes and fights off Stallone on the end. I love that, But Brian Thompson, he's so underrated actor. He was also this movie Commando Squad. He played a DA agent, Clint. He got captured, and tortured. But this woman goes and saves him, his ex-girlfriend. And I think that Brian Thompson's a very underrated actor, and he did a great job, But yeah, I love this explosion, in the film. So yeah, that's like I said, the cast. Rennie Santoni did a great job. Sergeant Gonzalez, he played previously. He played Chico Gonzalez in Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry's partner, Harry Callahan's partner. And I think that Rennie Santoni did a great job as Tony Gonzalez in this movie. While he was in Dirty Harry, he was Chico Gonzalez. Andrew Robinson was in this movie. He played Scorpio, the killer in Dirty Harry. And I read that, that there's a new interview with him, which is open about the film, how this movie caused problems, with acting, with direction, and whatever, he said. But Andrew Robinson did a good job as Monty. which a cop which he was against Cobra, and he said, and one of his superiors says, Cobra, you have attitude problems, and Stallone, Cobra replies and says, just a little one. I love that, this guy who was also in Death Warrant with Van Damme, was also in it, and I always love when he keeps yelling at on Cobra. I love that, But yeah, Lee Garliton as Nancy Stahl did a fantastic job, as police officer. At the same time, she works with Night Slasher. She's evil witch. She's an evil witch, and she goes to this to this steel mill. She goes and chases to the plant. Ingrid, and she goes with her shotgun. To the sand. She says, "Die, bitch!" Or this security guard, when Ingrid tries to clunk him down, he shows something with the finger, and she goes and shoots him. She goes with the shotgun and says, "Die, bitch!" And Stallone shows up with his machine gun and says, "Stop!" and shoots her. And love that scene. Lee Garliton did a fantastic job. She's an evil witch. Andrew Robinson did a good job. He gets punched by Cobra on the hand. I love that scene. But I love that the serious dark tone. But yeah, that's number 4. The cast. Number 3. The action scenes, like I said, I'm actually gonna talk more about it in my number 1 reason. What will be number 3? Number 3 reason probably will be the action scenes. I should count it too many reasons because I'm gushing this film because I'm a fanboy of Cobra. I'm a fanboy of this film. I'm actually a huge fanboy of this film. But I love Cobra to death. I mean, this is one of the best action films in my opinion. People will say, no, it's not. It's not the best. It's a fun time waster. It's a campy film. It's a blah, 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 blah. To me, it's not. Because I love that it's serious tone. It has serious tone, and I'm a fanboy of this film. So number 3, I'll say it's rated R. Like I said, it's actually rated R. It's a slasher film. It's fast-paced. I love what I forgot to mention. Is actually love the cinematography of this film. When they actually go to this bar. Nowadays the bar sucks because you have to wear. You need you actually need now. How they call it. You have to be vaccinated for COVID-19 now. You have to wear mask in it. Nowadays this bar suck, and I love when Cobra and Ingrid they actually go in this bar, and she eats French fries, and there's a song by the jukebox that Stallone kicks in it, and they actually talk nice. But that's actually, the cinematography of the film, the practical done, the cinematography, the cast, the filming locations. I love that the dark scenes, the steel mill scene by the finale, which I do love that, by the finale. But yeah, that will definitely be number 3, rated there. But that definitely would be number 3, third favorite reason, the cinematography. Number 2, I love Cobra Scar. I love actually Cobra Scar, Mercury 1950. I love his car. It's actually the plate's writing awesome. Love his car. Which I wrote down. I also wrote the history about the film. It was 1950 Mercury Monterey Coupe, which actually belonged to Sylvester Stallone. That was actually his car. I love Cobra's car. I love that it's writing awesome. I love that. I love that it's actually on nitro fuel. He has a nitro fuel in it. He has such a badass cool car. the car was actually stolen 9 years after this movie, 1995. It was stolen, and until 2009, the car disappeared, without anyone find out what it was about, because it was stolen garage. It belonged to Sylvester Stallone, that car. It was the destiny and the fate of the car was remained unknown until 2009, when it was auctioned, to film that provides props for filming a movie, and when Sylvester Stallone heard about it, was actually one of the collectors, and Sylvester Stallone filed a lawsuit against the guy who stole his car for $3 million. He got the lawsuit and he got his car back. For $3 million, he filed a lawsuit against the one of those collectors who stole his car. But it was actually 1950 Mercury Cube, Mercury Monterey Cube. 1950. I love his car. And now number one, that's number two. Number one, I love Cobra. I love the character. I love his gun. Which I'm gonna talk now about the character and then about the action. I love his gun. I wrote down the gun was actually JT-Matic SMG, which is a Finnish 9mm. Was actually SMG, a Finnish 9mm, .19mm submachine gun developed by late 1970s and early 1980s by Jalai Tamari, making its debut in 1983. It holds 2040 round box magazine. He actually carries a box of this weapon, while he has actually a laser mount. He has a scope with a laser mount. He actually has, has a laser mount machine. I love his JT-Matic submachine gun, with laser. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger uses the gun, in Terminator. I prefer Cobra because he's a badass cop. I love his submachine gun, I love his gun, This is actually a custom 45 Colt gun, which was created by, which I also wrote down, but it was actually I think I did not wrote down the guy who actually custom made the gun. It was a Colt. It's actually 45 Colt gun. That was made. I love his Colt gun. I love his Colt gun. I also love that he actually wears the sunglasses, gargoyle sunglasses. He has a matchstick in his mouth. A matchstick in his mouth. I love his jeans, his t-shirt, and I love his gloves, and I love his assault weapon, his JT-Matic submachine gun, with laser mount. They don't use this kind of gun in the movies nowadays, And I just love, I actually love the opening scene, the opening scene when it's reference to Dirty Harry in America. There's a burglary every 11 seconds, an armed robbery every 55 seconds, a violent crime every 25 seconds, a murder every 24 minutes, and 250 rapes a day. And I just love that, and Cobra fires the Colt, just like in Dirty Harry did in Magnum Force, which is my favorite Dirty Harry film. And I actually love that, And I love that when Cobra, he's actually on this truck, the whole house is surrounded by an army of motorcycle psychos, San Ramos, and I love the final scene, they go and Cobra goes into his Colt, he goes, shoots the motherfuckers, and I also forgot to mention, but I love his grenades, I love his grenades, actually grenades, I love his grenades on it. The grenades I love, the grenades are such a badass, I love the grenades on it. He grabs a grenade, throws the grenade, and a motorcycle explodes. Practical effect, And he goes with his submachine gun in the window, shoots the bad guy. They escape, because they both escape because they burn the motel room. He goes, in the truck. They escape. Tony gets shot. Gonzalez gets shot. They both escape. Ingrid and Cobra, they both escape. And there's motherfuckers that are chasing them. He goes, shoots them all with submachine gun. All the motorcycles, they crashed. They actually crash with the car because there's actually brigade. They actually block the sideway of the road, and he goes and crashes in the car. Ingrid goes, crashes the car. They both escape. He goes, he jumps, like a badass. He shoots all the bad guys. They escape. He grabs grenade, shows the motherfucker, and we have a great explosion, like motorcycle flies, and they go to the steel mill. He puts the grenade, he uses the laser, and two guys are looking for him. He goes, bang, and kills them both, He puts and throws this guy, the gas, the gas in the face of Cho, of John Hertzfeld, and he puts us the matchstick, turns the light on matchstick and says, you have to remain silent. And he throws the matchstick and he fires the motherfucker. Practical effect, practical done. This is how the movie should have been done nowadays, And I love Cobra so much to that. I mean, Cobra is a 1986 classic, in my opinion. It's a badass film. I love his lines, in the supermarket when Cobra shows up. I love his name, Marian Cobra Cobretti. He goes in the store, and the supermarket killer says, I have a bomb here. I'm gonna blow this thing up, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna blow this up. I'm gonna blow this place up. Go ahead. I don't shop here. You wanna talk, amigo? Just relax. I'm a sucker for a good conversation. I want to talk to you. Love these lines, the open scene. I want to talk to you. You bring the cameras now. I can't do that. Why? Because I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. I'm no psycho, man. I'm the hero of the new world. That's how you do. You look at a fucking hunter. Your disease. And then the cure. And I love that scene. And when he puts the shotgun on him, he says, shows the knife, says, drop it, and shoots him. Love that scene. The finale, I forgot to mention the finale between Night Slasher and Cobra, Cobra, and I love when the Night Slasher keeps saying, you want to go to hell with me, pig, and he goes, keeps calling him pig, and says, and says you will do it. You have to take me in if you can. I have rights too, the cold silence in a pig. And I love his lines, but the finale, I forgot to mention when Cobra replies and says, but the court is civilized and I pick, but I'm not. This is where the law stops and I start. Sucker. I love that scene. The court is civilized, but I'm not. This is where the law stops and I start. Sucker. And I love that scene, and Lee Garton jumps on Stallone, and Brian Thompson, he has actually a 2-barrel shotgun and goes and shoots her in the back, and they actually fight with the chains, and Stallone grabs with his gun and goes and punches him right here, goes punches him, grabs and stabs him on the hook, he stabs in the hook, and Night Slasher goes in the hell, just like he said, they want to go in a hell, he's so imitating motherfucker, he stabs him, he gets stabbed because all the people that he killed, he gets stabbed, he gets killed, and I read that the director, I think George P. Cosmatos, wanted that Brian Thompson, wanted the reasons why his character is doing that, but Stallone only said he's evil, But yeah, it's just such a badass, character. I mean, I love Cobra. I love Marian Cobra Cobretti. All the action heroes that are in the 80s, they were named John. This is not John. This is Marian Cobra Cobretti. And I love his lines, his car. I forgot to mention. How the fuck I forgot to mention, He goes in his apartment and he uses scissors, and he uses scissors, and he goes and cuts, he uses scissors, and he cuts the pizza, with scissors. Or he goes, there's these guys who are parking in front, and he says, move the car. They said, fuck you. He goes, punches them, and this guy shows up. Hey, what the fuck is your problem? What is it? Bean shakes. And Cobra grabs his cigarette out of his mouth, throws it in it. Rips his t-shirt, says me, rips his t-shirt, clean up your act and see the wire, love that scene, and he pushes the car, man, they go, like these four guys, these 4 punks were messing up with him, I just love that. Or he goes, and cuts the pizza with scissors, I love that, eats pizza, I love that scene, that's a great scene. Or he uses the gun and he fires on the paper target, bang, 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 and says we're gonna wait till the strikes again. I love that scene, such a badass. But the best scene, in my opinion, is when he wears that suitcase with J-Matic submachine gun, he goes and models the J-Matic machine gun, and I love that scene, and we see Ingrid Knudsen watching it, But what I miss is that time I love the atmosphere of this film, the atmosphere, the air, everything about this film, especially because nowadays action films suck. Now we have to wear a mask because of these garbage wires. That time it wasn't. The air was clean that time. It was much better. I love that it's serious. I love that this guy is serious, Everyone talks about John Wick films. I'll talk about Cobra. Those are my movies, I'll talk about Rated R Cobra. Those are my movies, But yeah, those are my movies, And yeah, that's actually my top 10 reasons why Cobra is one of my favorites of all time, favorite movies of all time, with Commando and other movies. Anyway, take care. And I'll see you soon. So have a good day, and I'm out. Peace.